Today I received an XXL size package. It is 80 cm long by 30 cm wide and 15 cm thick and weighs about 5 kilograms. It is one hell of a gigantic things I have ever got from China. So let's tear it up in a second. This video is sponsored by Ploylab'S. If you want to get cool gaming stuff at the right price, please visit their website and begin shopping. This package is enormous and a bit heavy too, and it takes up almost all the space on my table, so it is a little bit hard to tear the plastic cover. Anyway, let's dive in. We can see that this is a multi-in-one home game station with some brief specs below it. And on the other side, you can read some more information about this device. And this so-called home game station has no printed brand on its packaging. Okay, let's open the box and see what we got. The first thing you see are cables. Cables everywhere. This is a male-to-male USB Type-A cable, a standard HDMI cable, a VGA cable, 2 arcade type replacement buttons, the instruction manual. I don't know what RRTV means. Is it a brand or something? Then we got the power supply adapter and its cable. And finally we got 2 blue backups. Let's lift the foam and see the console below it. Well, so there it is. Let's remove it from the packaging. Yes, this is the game console. It resembles the arcade video game controller. We need to connect this console to a monitor or TV to play the games. The first impression about this console, I don't like the picture. I think it is too childish. Anyway, it's just my taste, nothing serious. On the backside, you can see some ports. There is the power switch on the far right, and on the far left you can see the LED effect switch. And on the bottom you can see the speaker. By the way, the console case is painted metal, not plastic. Let's install the backups and test the machine. I assume you already know how to connect the power supply to the console and hook up a monitor or TV into the machine. Let's power up this beast. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay, let's wait and watch the boot animation in a while. It says 3D Pandora 18S Pro, RRTV. What a cool boot animation! Let's see how this console performs. So after 45 seconds, you will get into the home screen. You won't find anything like icons etc, but you will see the game's library instantly. So just choose any game you like and play it. As far as I know, there are a total of 8,000 games to choose from the list. That is insane. So there are PPSP games, which is PSP games, PlayStation 1 games, Nintendo 64 games, FC or Famicom or NES games, Super Famicom or Super Nintendo games, Game Boy Advance games, GBC or Game Boy Color games, Sega Mega Drive games, PC Engine games, Dreamcast games, FBA or Final Burn Alpha games, and finally, MAME games. Let's run a random game from each category.
All Phoenix. Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight!
For this Tekken 6 game, we can hear some audio hiccups, but the game itself is playable, so it is not smooth enough.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
To get back to the main screen, press the pause button, then press the B button to exit the game. Let's try to load some other games.
Choose your destiny. Round 1. Fight! Get over here! Get over here!
This game runs smoothly. No lags, no stuttering, just perfect.
Scorpion wins.
Let's move on to the next game.
Welcome to Mario Kart! Mario Grand Prix! Select your player.
Did you hear it? The audio is stuttering.
Man.
This game is playable, but the audio is not so good. On to the next game. No problem found on this super simple game. Let's continue with a Super NES game. This game is everyone's favorite. Everything is perfect. Next, let's try a GBA game. This game works fine. And next we will try a Game Boy Color game. Yeah, this one runs really well too. Now, a Sega Mega Drive game. Perfect. Next, let's try a PC Engine game. For 2 players game, we can directly use the second player joystick. Next we will try a popular Dreamcast game, Crazy Taxi 2.
We're back!
It's party time! Let's have a ride! Let's go make some crazy money!
Go slash!
Alright, stay down the gas. Johnny's up.
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
Yeah, this game works fine. Next we will try an FBA game. This game is okay. And finally, we will try a MAME game.
Round one, fight!
And this game is okay too.
Round two, fight!
To see the recently played games, move the cursor to the Recent tab. If you are browsing the games and want to get the cursor to the top screen, press the Start button. To search for a game title, move the cursor to the Search tab and type in the game name. But here's the weird part. We cannot find the space key, so let's leave it. Okay, let's try searching for a game. For example, Contra. It is one of my favorite games since I was a little kid. Now I will show you how to get into the system settings. Press the tiny CFG button at the back of the console. There are some options here, but most of them are I think not too important, unless you know how to utilize them. For me, there are two exciting menus, namely the key settings and the Wi-Fi settings. If you want to remap the console buttons or set the player for the external gamepad, you need to open the key settings. And if you want to update the console or access the game market to download new games, we need to set up the Wi-Fi connection. I've set up the Wi-Fi connection previously, so let's try to access the game market. But please be aware that their server is slow as hell, so don't try to download big games. I will show you how to add games later. To check for firmware updates, you can select Check for Update. Select the factory data reset to clean the cache like the recently played game list and the Wi-Fi connection. Some games require you to have a gamepad, and as far as I know, we can only use the one that resembles the Xbox 360 wired gamepad, like this one, the Logitech F3110. To use it, connect the gamepad to the button part of the console's USB port. And then reopen the system settings. Select Key Settings, choose Gamepad Settings, and flick the joystick to set the gamepad to use on any player, like player 1. Then press the D button 3 times to get back to the home screen. By the way, these are the default button configuration. Now you're ready to use the gamepad to play any games you like. If you want to add another gamepad, you need to use a USB hub. You cannot connect it to the upper part of the USB port. Even though this console has 8000 built-in games, you might not find the games you love. This section will show you how to play your favorite games from the USB flash drive. Please be aware that it is not easy as it used to be. First, you need to have the game ROMs. You can find it everywhere and Google is your friend. Please do not ask me where to get it. Then you need to download a tool called Pandora. See the link in the description below. Download another tool called Scraper. And register yourself at the screenscraper.fr, as we will need it later. Suppose I have 10 ROMs inside this folder here. We cannot simply copy it to the USB flash drive and play it on the console. We need to process it further. Now extract the Pandora and the Scraper archives into separate folders. And then create another folder for the games. You may name it as you like, but I name it ROMs. Open the Pandora folder. Now click the address bar of the Pandora folder and type in CMD. and it will open the command prompt window. Now right-click the ROMs folder and see its properties. You need to copy the folder location or its path. Now type a command like this: Pandora, prepare, followed by the path to the ROM's location. So in my case, it will look like this. And press the enter button. Now when you open the ROMs folder, there are many folders inside it. Next, you need to move or copy each of the game ROM into the correct ROM folder. For example, put the Sega Mega Drive games into the Mega Drive folder, the N64 game ROMs into the N64 folder, and so on. We are not done yet. Close the ROMs folder and open the scraper folder. And run the scraper UI app. Type in your screen scraper login and password here. And press validate. Press next to continue. This process takes a long time to finish, like a half hour or longer, so you can leave your computer for a while. On the next screen, select Recall Box. And press Next. Now click the folder icon and select the ROMs folder. And tick the checkbox. Press Next. And press the Next button again. On this screen, select the Media tab. Select Video as the media type. Click the box 3D and delete it by pressing the minus icon. Now you can begin the scraping process by pressing the play button at the bottom right of the app. Again, this process might take a long time to finish, so you can relax a little bit. And again, we are not done yet. Let's continue. Remember, we need to prepare a USB flash drive to put the games in it. First, check its file system by right-clicking the drive and check its properties. The file system should be exFAT, so if it isn't, we need to format it using the built-in Windows formatter. So again, right-click the drive and select Format. Select exFAT. Leave the allocation unit size at its default value and press Start. Now open the USB drive, create a new folder, and name it Games. Next, you need to remember the drive letter. In my case, it is drive H. Recall the command prompt window of the Pandora folder. If you accidentally closed it, then you need to type CMD on its address bar. Now type this command, Pandora @ followed by the path of the ROMs folder, then followed by the USB drive letter. In my case, it will look like this. Type in the screen scraper username and password, and it will take another long time to finish. And we are ready to plug the USB flash drive into the console and begin the finalizing step. When we look at the USB drive content, we will see a new folder, and that folder contains the games from the ROMs folder but in a specific structure. Now I want to plug in a USB flash drive and a gamepad into a single USB port. To solve that problem, you need to use a USB hub. Remember, we cannot use the upper part of the USB port because it is a debugging port. Now let's join and connect all those devices. And turn on the console. Now you will see the installation screen. Press the A button to install the games to the USB drive. Please be aware that this process will take a long time to finish, so please be patient. And there you go, you are now seeing the games from the USB drive. It is a hassle, but unfortunately there are no other ways to do it unless the developer upgrades the game market server. Now I will show you how to reveal two hidden menus. Press the CFG button to get into the system settings. Now press the F button 4 times and you will see the factory settings. If you don't know what those menus for, better stay away and don't mess with it, unless you have backup the internal SD card. Press the D button to get back to the system settings. Now I will show you another hidden menu. For this step, you need to have a keyboard. I'm using a wireless keyboard, so I will plug the USB dongle into the USB hub. Then press the D button again to get back to the home screen. And then press the CFG button again to get into the system settings. Get the keyboard and press 9527. And you will find the hidden system settings right there. This console is actually an Android device, so maybe you can explore it deeper if you are familiar with it. Now let's try to disassemble the console and see the CPU inside it. We just need to remove these screws to access the inner part of the console. Let's get to it. Now we can lift the upper part of the console. But unfortunately, we cannot detach it, and we cannot open it fully, so it is pretty limited as two hinges are holding this plexiglass. But I managed to extract the console's motherboard, and here it is. And this console is using the M-Logic S812 CPU, which is a quad-core ARM Cortex-A9 based SoC with ARM Mali 450 MP6 GPU running at 600 MHz. If you want to jailbreak this console or try to do several experiments, I suggest you make a backup of this SD card using the Win32 disk imager. It is hot glued, but I managed to strip the glue with my fingernail. And when we inserted the microSD card into the computer, it will ask you to format it. Do not format it, or else you will break the console. I tried to open the Minitool partition wizard to see its partition structure, and this is how it looks. Observe this 5. It has 7 partitions, with 3 of them are Linux X3 partitions. Unfortunately, the Minitool partition wizard cannot mount the Linux partitions. We need to use another wrap to explore the content. I have a tool called Linux File System for Windows by Paragon Software. With this tool, we can mount the Linux partitions with ease. And this is the content of the Linux partitions. I can do nothing here, but after exploring the SD card deeper, we know that the games reside inside the eData folder. We cannot simply copy and paste the additional ROMs into these folders. It's not easy as counting 1, 2, 3. If you love arcade video game style so much, then I think you will love to have this Pandora 18S Pro. The only thing that bothers me is how hassle it is to play other games from the USB flash drive. But overall, this console is okay, even though it is not a perfect video game console. Thanks for watching this video and see you next time.